And I just think there's never truly a moment in your life where you're ever like truly stuck. I just think it's always about asking the right questions, reaching out to the right people, and taking the right initiative.
But I am just been impressed with everything you've been doing. You got Disney going on and bouncing around with competing still or any other
Yeah. So
jobs?
yeah. So in Florida, there's this company called We Flip Entertainment, and that's who I directly work for. And then they have connections in all the parks. So like in SeaWorld and Disney, and I have a bunch of shows set up there. So right now I'm doing 3 shows for We Flip. Um, Maybe even more. I might have lost count. But there is a jump rope show at SeaWorld. There's a jump rope show at Disney.
I mean, going back to what I've known you since you were so young with the long locks of hair and, not even knowing, hey, I like this jump rope thing. I'm an active kid and
No.
you putting in the work, man. It's so cool. And, as time went on, you decided, hey, I want to focus on this and see where you've gone with it. Was there a pivotal point where you're like, hey, I'm gonna narrow in on jump rope and become really good at this. I see this is who knows where it goes.
I went to at Washington State. I went to it was like a break dance style jump rope competition, and they invited 4 competitors, and then online they had like a qualifier where they invite. So I went in person and qualified for those last 2 spots, and then I competed in this like bracket style, breakdance style competition for jump rope, and I ended up making it to the final 2. I was a runner up. I didn't win, unfortunately, but the lineup was some stacked jump ropers, and even my mom was like, "Oh shoot, he's holding his own." So it was just really impressive.
I've noticed about you, and as things are still happening, is that you saw an opportunity. I'm going to try it out. And I might mess up. And as an athlete, when we fall down, we get back up, we figure things out, we find mentors or we find people like, I want to do this. And that's
Mhm.
just been impressive as a young man growing up. And even, I mean, gosh, you're barely 20. But again, it's the day to day. Everyone's all of a sudden, oh, look at this big overnight success. Well, no, they haven't seen the hours that you put in or that I put in as coaching for, over 30 years. They can just rattle stuff off so easily. Yeah, because it's repetition over and over again. But again, putting in the work, but you got to find out where you are and try things and be willing to fail. And that's just, a testament to just what you've been doing and going for things.
Remember when I was talking to you about moving to Columbus? Yeah, so
Hmm.
it was my senior year of high school, and my parents were like, "Hey, this kid is kinda good at jump rope." And there was a team up in Columbus that I could go train with, and it worked out because, I wanted to go to college at Ohio State, and that's in Columbus. Um, but it would have involved leaving my current team for, uh, basically what was happening was that I was leaving my current team for another one, and that was, like, a big like mental thing, just with like just leaving the current people on my teams. Like, oh, what if they think badly about me? But the other what if is that what if I can go to this team and excel?
Right. No, for sure. And that's scary and it's all in and even tying in with, people I know we're talking about fitness and finance and this whole discussion and clients I'm working with, they're afraid to do new things with, well, it's always been done this way, but I don't like the result I'm getting. So you have to do something different. Or you make a leap of faith. I'm going to trust this person that's telling me to make that change or go for that thing. And again, seeking out mentors in that way or information and having someone walk alongside you and go, hey, no, it's okay. I'm going to show you the way here. And you still got to take that leap. But the bigger thing is once we take that action, that's when the motivation really kicks in. It's not so much we have to feel motivated first and then we do action. If you do a little bit of action and
Hmm.
take that first
Yeah.
step, you get that motivation along the way. And that's where, again, people that are frustrated with their finances. They're struggling with money. They're like, I'm a mess. I don't know what to do, but I'm tired of being where I am. And that's where finding a coach like myself, I mean, you have mentors still. I know I do. I'm still seeking out and talking with people that are where I want to be down the road. So you took the leap and you went up to Columbus. So when did the opportunity with the performance company come along?
It was
Hmm.
because of my success in the competitive jump rope world that they had their eye on me, and then they reached out to me and like, "Hey, we want you to come perform for us." And then it was just like a one-time gig, and then uh, I did well at that gig. They liked what they saw, and they kept inviting me back, and they kept inviting me back, and kept inviting me back, and kept inviting me back. So, and then it just kind of took off from there, and now I have some really strong connections within this company.
That's great. No, and you kept accepting and you kept going. And I'm sure you look back and go, maybe the early times you're like, oh, I didn't do as
Oh
good. But
yeah,
as you got comfortable and kept coming back and kept getting back up and doing it again and making connections and
mm,
keeping in that world
yeah,
of, and I'm sure you were motivated by others that were there, being in the world of something new to you. And again, that ties in with people that are, our habits that, or we're around a certain circle of people or a certain way of thinking. And I'm going to tie this back into money. But I'm always going to be in debt, or I'm always going to should have a car payment, or I'm always going to just be like this. And no, and you get, new information. And there was some history in my past where that was certain thoughts were like that. And then I was interrupted with a job offer years ago. I got some new thoughts of
yeah.
thinking about just life and goals and everything. I'm like, this I don't hear people talk like this. And it was one of those moments that I was like, oh, I could maybe achieve this or go for that. One of the quotes that they say, I'm not sure who said it first, but you are the six or seven people that you're closest to. And if you're constantly like the lowest person, quote, and you're around people above you, that's just going to lift you up and keep you going, even if there's challenges. And that's where, again, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's finances, and you're just, I need something different. I'm tired of where I am. I want something new in my 30 plus years of coaching myself. So some people ask about my background, like I've been running a business for 20 years. That's another side of my world. And that's where actually
Oh
this
yeah.
whole money thing converged because as I was known as a
Hmm.
teacher and, concepts and how to break things down simply and help people achieve, but also with business and doing a well debt free business for over 20 years now. Fell into that, but got good at it, made mistakes, of course. But then the last 5 years or so, people would start coming to me asking financial questions. And I love math and the money conversation. That was just something natural that I enjoy. And they kept coming to me asking. And so about a year and a half ago, through Dave Ramsey of Ramsey Solutions, I became a certified financial master coach to actually hone in and hit the basics, which is
Wow.
one of my specialties
Hmm.
of helping people. It's not financial advisors. It's not investments. It's how do I budget? How do I save
Hmm.
$1,000 first? How do I get
Oh
these little
yeah.
habits of, I want to be
Hmm.
wealthy eventually because I've gone through broke periods of my life. And now my wife and I, we're at that building wealth stage. When people are asking for help, they're like, what to do? So I did put this together and this is one of my, unique coaching tools. So when I help people out, other people are like, why am I broke? What's wrong with me? When we talk about taking a look at where you are, some people don't even know how to take a look at that, whether it's my bank statements, I got to add all this stuff together. I have that all for you. So those people that are watching, if you guys want to click the link in the description, it's the Why Am I Broke Solution Sampler. It's a piece that I do for my clients, but I'm willing to do that for you guys. I can have it done for you and send it right back where it just gives you a quick snapshot of possibly like, why do you have stress with money? What's going on there? The other one is that with the age of AI, if you don't want that to done for you, if you want to try to do it yourself, I have a power prompt that I've been building slowly that will help that you could do it yourself. So you'll get that prompt from me as well if you want to do that, or I can do it for you and send it to you. So that Why Am I Broke Solution Sampler. So you can check that link in the description. And and as they talk about with youngins and time on their side, I want to shift just a little bit and talk freely as much as you want to or not. Just,
Yeah.
are there any money struggles? Are people doing all right? Just kind of give us a real life, people in your circle or yourself. Feel free to
Yeah.
talk about any of that.
Yeah. I know me as a 19-year-old going on 20. The only money struggles I'm having right now are just like thinking for the future. Um, And it's like if I'm going to go down the performance route or the competitive jump rope route, there might not be too much money in that. Um, but I for me myself, I know I just have like confidence for the future that things have a tendency to work themselves out, especially as like a kind of person that I am and a kind of person that you are. Just having that motivation to work things out, and then they will. Um, so I know I'm going to college right now to get my degree in nutrition, and I know the vision for me right now is to go down the performance route, do as well as I can there, but also have a remote job in nutrition consulting. So that's my vision for the future. And even even if I get to that point and decide like, hey, I want to make more money, I think there's definitely a way to do it. And I think it's just all about asking the right questions. Like I know I have a person like you in my life that has so much knowledge in many different areas that I can go to and ask for help about these kind of things. Um, and I just think there's never truly a moment in your life where you're ever like truly stuck. I just think it's always about asking the right questions, reaching out to the right people, and taking the right initiative.
For sure. Well said, man. Yeah, and that's true. And a lot of that ties into obviously just the mental side of things, your thought process, your I'm going to figure this out, not for me. Oh, this is happening to me. Yeah, we all get knocked down and we have those negative side
Hmm.
of things, but I think that and attributes to you being an athlete for so long. And we all don't have to have, sports. And I was an athlete myself off and on, but I was also a musician and things. But we also deal with how do we get back up? How do we aim at something and go, okay, or pivot, like you talked about with your network that you were trying to because of jump rope, some little decision you made when you were younger, all of a sudden snowballed and led to potential things. So everyone's like, oh, look how successful. It's
Yeah.
so easy.
Mhm.
It's not. So, but that's great that you have ideas and plans. But again, starting with that mental side of, nope, I want something different. I'm going to make this happen. How do I do this? And ask questions and go through
Yeah.
those things. That's great.
Can I actually add
Well, then,
something?
sure.
Yeah. So you actually said something to me like years ago that actually still stuck with me. And I think it's just like the perfect statement of like, okay, get in check with reality and also like shoot for the stars. What you said to me, you said you can have everything you want in life, just maybe not all at one time. And that was just like, whoa. It's like, whoa. So you said that to me, and I was like, this is at a time in my life when I was like, okay, do I want to continue competing? But I also want to perform. How do I mix those two? And then you said that to me, and I was like, wow. Yeah. So, and I think that can tie into a lot of other areas. Like you said, like you had a job offer when I was in high school. Like you can stay where you're at now. You can be happy with where you're at now. But if you want more, it's like you can go get it. Like you might have to leave behind what you have now, but it might all work itself out for the better.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's amazing that that stood out to you as a moment or a quote. And just a second, that is true. You never know. Like one of the bigger quotes is when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I don't know where I read that years ago. But again, leaders are
Hmm.
readers. You were ready to hear that quote and it stuck with you. And man, for those of you that are
Yeah.
watching this and you're ready for a
And I just heard the
change,
right thing. Yeah.
you never know. Yeah, if you're like, "Why am I looking at this? Because 'Cause I'm looking for something different. I want some different outcome." And it's not so much there's so much information now, and it's almost overwhelming and paralyzing. Yeah, we can look up anything or have AI look up it, but guess what? You need someone that's actually walked the walk and been there or help you do it. Even that's what I do as coaching. Even as you as an athlete and as you as a coach, there's sometimes we do the work for our students, for our clients to get their habit, get them strong so they can do it on their own eventually. So it's that done with you. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of the services I do with my financial clients. Where again, I'm their money coach. I'm their personal trainer to help them get financially fit. But I could say one piece of a line, and I bet Ryan's going to know the end of it. Okay. We're going to see on the spot. You ready? All right. Ready?
Oh
Okay. Let's
yeah.
see if it happens. All right. The beginning affects
The ending.
the ending. The beginning affects the ending. That's right. So, and the reason I wanted one, that's how well we know each other and we coached alongside each other. But it also ties into finance because we got to know where we are. You got to take a look and be willing to go, you know what? Like I had a moment years ago, I was a little older than you, and all of a sudden, like my bank account was zero. Um, very little money in it. And then, it was up and down, up and down. And I finally just, there was a book someone gave me. So I was sitting there and writing everything out. And I had that moment of, how did I get here? And, but I was pissed. I was shamed. But then I was like, I'm going to I don't want this anymore. I want something different. And that's where it changed and slowly got out of that and kept the momentum going. But alongside of, so that beginning affects the ending. You got to have that vision of where you want to go. Are you strong enough to take a look at where you are and own your piece of it? There's other aspects that, oh, well, this happened to me and because of this. Sure. But where's your aspect of it? You are got to own some of that. But I'm honored that that stood out to you and that was something I said, but I know that I heard that from somebody else.
Yeah.
So I did not create that. And most of the lines that I use are quotes that I've gotten from other mentors or books and people that have gone beyond. And that's what we should do. Stand on the shoulders of those that have gone before us.
Yeah. I'll tell you a lot of things that you say, I repeat to some of the kids that I've mentored and even some of my peers around me. And some of them, they catch on and it's like a butterfly effect. So
But I know with, again, tying this in with finance and fitness and just some stats of where things are. Well, this was staggering. And this is some of the reports, again, being with Dave Ramsey, certified financial coach, tying into they have a awesome network and kind of on the fly. Have you heard of Dave Ramsey or Ramsey Solutions with the money guidance?
it sounds familiar.
It sounds
I
familiar. That's
think
okay.
so. Is he
You're
on
19
Instagram
and
a lot?
20. That's all right. Well, yeah, but short, he's been around 30 years and has grown from what he talks about a card table in his living room all the way through a $300 million a year business. But he has YouTube and channels and radio and books and everything. He has a whole research team. So all these stats I get from them, they share these freely. And that's what all this is about. And I just put it together on the slide. But this is one of their most recent updates that they did that 54% of the US is living paycheck to paycheck. And that is staggering. And that's as on the stat up here from 2021, it used to be 42%, but it's rising. And so that's where, again, this money topic, when people would come to me, I knew there was something there because more and more people were just lost. And it's like, we have all this information, but what's the problem still? And struggling with their monthly bills. Almost half of America is doing that. But are people in your area or even in your circle, do they talk about any money stress or challenges or car payments or anything like that?
Notice it as a topic of discussion and stress that people bring up, like especially in work break rooms. A lot of the dancers at SeaWorld, they will like vent about their rent and their car payment. So it's a noticeable thing for sure.
But yeah, this one is another one that I put together, but it's yeah, everything you're talking about. There's $1 trillion in credit card debt that people are dealing with. And then, or car payment, the average is over $700. And 22% of the credit card interest rate. I mean, imagine paying that and been there paying off bills and living paycheck to paycheck, as people are struggling with that. Like, what do they do first? And a lot of people don't even have any money in savings. Like, if there was a $500 emergency, something with their tires or something like that, about half the people can't even write that check or pay it Venmo or, and listen to me, write a check. But, pay it with debit card. But it's amazing that everyone thinks that this whole debt is normal. And that's what's killing people because, again, they're making it seem normal. And as the bottom of this thing says, normal stuff. But just as a question, or do you pop in again, share as much as you want, but do you have like a budget of, I know I bring in this much money a month and I have these expenses and I'm trying to save, or is it just like everything's covered, but how structured or lack of structure or people that you talk to, doesn't have to be you, but it's interesting to get your
Hmm.
your
Yeah,
focus on.
yeah. I think for the most part, I am pretty lax about it. I My dad taught me everything that I know or don't know. I'm sure he knows a lot more. And I am getting my paychecks bi-monthly from the company I'm working from, and I got all my expenses covered, but my bank account is growing. every 2 weeks. So even after expenses. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's awesome. Is there, and can you speak to, so it sounds like you don't have any debt that you're like credit card debt or car payments or anything that you owe money. So, so you're staying out of debt. That's awesome, dude. And I know with your knowing your family a little bit, that's great that you've had that guidance. And that's what Dave
Yeah.
Ramsey does talk
I
about. They're trying to change their family tree
yeah.
with financial education. And a lot of people just don't know what to do. And that's where, again, Ramsey Solutions has videos and books all day long, and they have their Financial Peace University. They also have money coaches that, when just like personal trainers, it's they jump in and help me along the way. I want to get there a little sooner. I want that one-on-one or that group work and help me out there. Well, that's I'm proud of you, man. I love that you're out of debt, and again, the 47-year-old me talking to a younger version, stay out of debt.
Yeah, I also just wanted to touch briefly on those like micro habits. I know looking at me as a 19, 20-year-old, some people might go like, "Oh, he's got it easy. His parents pay for everything and he has nothing to worry about. He's so young." Um, which in some aspects might be true. I will admit. But I know that I have those micro habits ingrained in me. I know that like when it comes time to like seriously budget and seriously focus, I know that I have people I can reach out to. So one of those micro habits that I have is asking for help and asking the right questions. Um, so yeah, it's just one of those things that I just wanted to touch on. Be like, oh
Right.
well, why did Patrick get a 19-year-old to talk about money? He doesn't have money problems. It's like,
Mhm.
which in some aspects might be true. Um, but I know that, and I'm confident in myself that I will never have money problems as long as that I'm the type of person that I am.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to pull up one more slide here because I know this ties back into the finances and everything like that, but it really ties into anything. It's about 20% head knowledge. The information's there. It's the behaviors, it's the habits, it's your emotion, your mental state, your thought processes. You have to feed that. That is the foundation. And just to, again, not getting away from the money thing a little bit based on what you were just talking about. Is your main channel on Instagram that you post all of your work? And that you do with
Yes,
your
mostly.
competition. So
Mhm.
Instagram. So we'll definitely have that in there that you can follow Ryan on there because guess what? This guy's going somewhere. We're gonna maybe have a follow-up interview in a couple months and just see how things are going as well. But this is not going to be the first and
For
only
sure.
time that we'll be
Yeah.
hearing from you. But I love that you show some of the fail videos and it shows that you do some amazing tricks. And I
Oh
love the
yeah.
ones where you were with, I don't know if it's the circus people, you guys are diving and flipping through circles. So you show a video where you like finally made, you can just see on your face that we made it, like all three of you were diving all together in the circus training area.
Yeah.
And how many times did you have to practice flipping through there where it knocked down or you got tied up? And
Oh, for sure. I mean, I definitely didn't get first try. Um, it's a lot of technique building, so I would go and I would fail, and then one of the performers would be like, "Oh, you got to fix this," and then I'd go and then I'd try my best to fix it, and maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, and then they would point out to me again. It's like, "Oh, you didn't fix that," or "Oh, you fixed that, but now you have to fix this," and so it was just like a lot of that until eventually I got it, and then when I was there, the problem was consistency. So it was like it was like do an attempt, uh, make sure you do this, don't forget about that. And then once I had enough attempts, it got ingrained.
yeah,
And it was
well,
the
and
same
I
thing
think,
for the other two people as well.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Let alone you individually have to get the reps in and do the work and show up daily and take feedback, willing to accept it and go, oh, well, I thought I was doing it right, but I guess, someone else from fresh eyes, from another look, kind of like a coach, obviously, that's what coaches do. They see things that you can't see as the person in the trenches right there. They're alongside you and they see different things and give you feedback, but you're also wanting that goal. And again, tying all this in with being an athlete or whether it's financial, building your money muscles is what I call it, doing those daily little actions, having someone like myself do those aspects initially for you, showing you the way, and then all of a sudden walking next to you and then guiding you. Oh, they're off on their own and they're doing their skill. But again, it's all tied into habits. And I love that this is all behavior based and mental side of having a positive attitude. And I just want to speak to that for a second because having a positive mental attitude doesn't mean that everything's going to turn out great all the time. It just helps you through the tougher times. Because what's the alternative if everything's just negative and poor me? And that, I don't know. Again, there's people that do think that in life and what they call the victim mentality. And there's moments we have that feeling, but we can't live there. We got to push through and get out. So again, tying this into the people that are
Yeah,
having the
for
money
sure.
stress, the financial, their budgeting is a hot mess and they don't know what to do. Reach out, find again, getting information is one thing, but working with someone, at least having a conversation and finding out what you can do differently if you're ready. Because okay, here's another quote. You ready? You ready? I heard this, and I've heard it over the
I'm
years,
ready.
but
Yeah.
this hits home all the time. And we might end with this. We might even open with this quote: "Nothing changes if nothing changes."
Mm, yep.
You can take
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Some people I say that to, they're like, "What?" Other ones are like, "Wow, I know it hit me that way." Because you want something to change,
Yeah.
can't keep doing what you've been doing. You need something different.
Exactly. If you hate where you're at, it's just like, well, you gotta change something, and people are like, "What?" It's like, "Well, nothing changes. Nothing changes." And I'm like, "Oh, well, duh." I'm like, "Well, duh." Yeah.
Well done. Make it hit. I love it. I know you gotta get going. I am proud of you, and I'm so glad that we got to have this conversation. And I definitely want to have a follow up in a couple months. Who knows? We'll see how things are going. Uh, See where you are with your adventures. But again, guys, what the big takeaways is go for it. Make things happen. It's up to you because nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah. Thank you.